No one has ever dared to visit this place because of what lies inside of it. There are a lot of creepy places on the Earth, and some places haven't been explored yet. But besides the Earth, our moon apparently holds more secrets than we're led to believe, or what some people say the governments of Earth will allow us to see. Some people claim that the moon is actually a hollowed-out planetoid that a very, very advanced race is using as a base to take over the planet Earth. Now, that of course sounds ridiculous, but it's apparently a big conspiracy. If you're enjoying our videos, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, hit that little bell icon to be notified every time we post a new video. But when it comes to moon hoaxes and conspiracies, none is more debated than the NASA moon landing and if it really happened or not. Moon hoax conspiracy theorists say a desperate US President, John F. Kennedy, who wanted to beat the Russians in the space race to the moon, ordered the production of a series of films in top-secret studios to make it look like NASA astronauts made it to the lunar surface. It has been one of the world's biggest conspiracy theories, and speculation and theories abound about why anomalies in NASA photographs prove they must have been taken in a studio on Earth before the world was duped in July of 1969. The 48th anniversary of Neil Armstrong's first steps on the lunar surface took place in July, but many conspiracy theorists across the globe remain convinced it was the biggest cover-up of all time. Despite all of this, there are people on the other end trying to debunk all of these fake conspiracies. And some people say that it would have been impossible to fake the moon landings because the technology didn't exist at the time to pull this off. It all started to go wrong for the hoax nuts as soon as China's Chang'e 3 sent back its first pictures after landing on the moon. One of the main arguments from moon hoax theorists is that there were no stars seen in NASA Apollo mission's moon images, and there should have been, so that must have been a studio oversight. However, the video compared pictures taken by the Chinese mission to the NASA originals, and both had a jet black sky without a single star. Another thing is that hoax theorists say that the tracks made in the moon from the astronauts' boots or the landing equipment and rovers could only be possible in wet sand from some studio. However, the Chinese rover made perfectly sharp tracks in the moon dust. Buzz Aldrin was the second man to walk on the moon, and another claim made by hoax theorists is that classic images of Buzz Aldrin lit up seemingly from the sundown end of the moon would not have been possible to take naturally, and must have needed secondary light from a studio. However, the Chinese rover in the sundown area is clearly lit by sunlight reflected back off the lunar surface to the source. Another person who says he debunked the moon landings as a hoax is filmmaker S.G. Collins, who made a video describing in detail how videotape technology of the late 1960s was not up to the job of making a fake moon landing. The problem, he says, is that in 1969, there was not any videotape that could have recorded unbroken for long enough to create a fake version of the live broadcast of the mission and from the lunar surface. The live broadcast, which was the most watched in history, lasted around 2.5 hours straight, with no gaps. Mr. Collins says no such videotape existed to go for that amount of time back then. NASA's Marcus Allen's rantings aside, has already provided ample proof that the moon landings happened as advertised, even going so far as to provide images of the Apollo landing sites courtesy of the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. So, men really did go to the moon, not once, but 6 times between 1969 and 1972. But the story doesn't end there. Some new footage has shown up online saying that it was not the USA that made it to the moon first, but instead, the Soviet Union are the ones that put men on the moon first. However, the Soviet explorers died and instead decided to cover up the fact that it had undertaken the ill-fated mission. The claims have been backed up by a conspiracy theory video which has emerged online purporting to show the cosmonauts walking on the moon before the Apollo 11 mission. Apparently, a clip of a secret night rocket launch was found in the Russian archive, and another video shows a Soviet spacecraft landing on the moon and cosmonauts getting out. They then appear to plant a Soviet flag. The second film was found by NASA astronauts at a possible Soviet lunar crash site. Now, some very bizarre things are being said, such as they sent Americans to the moon because they found dead astronauts there from Russia. It's literally impossible to know if there were dead astronauts on the moon from the Earth. You would have to land there to see. There are apparently loads of cover-ups. What is known, however, is that a Russian spacecraft did crash into the moon while Armstrong and Aldrin were still there. Luna 15 was blasted off from the Soviet Union days before the Apollo 11 mission on July 13th. The unmanned probe smashed into the surface on July 21st, a few hours before the Apollo 11 astronauts left. It had been sent up to get soil samples from the moon before the US. Many conspiracy theories continue to claim the US moon landings were faked and even filmed in a studio. So, did the Soviet Union really beat the United States to the moon? It seems that only a trip back to the moon will finally silence the non-believers once and for all. Alright, Top Fivers, if you haven't already, make sure to visit our other channel, The Brilliant, for even more interesting list videos that'll blow your mind. But I'm warning you, the videos over on The Brilliant are extremely addicting to watch as well. There'll be a link in the description to the channel, so make sure to come and visit us. Or you can go to our latest video popping up on screen right now. Oh, and have you visited thefinestpost.com to enjoy the most amazing articles you'll ever get to read?